There are many cool factions in the Fallout universe, and Fallout New Vegas has some of the best ones. The courier's ability to align with or destroy whichever ones he or she sees fit made for an incredibly immersive experience. Your decisions had serious consequences for the many groups vying for power in the post-war world, but even if this was not the case, the factions would still stand individually as masterpieces. In this video, we're going to delve into the top 5 factions for New Vegas, including both major factions and minor supporting ones. Obviously, this list is very subjective, and we've ranked it in accordance with our own personal opinions, but we feel these factions have earned their spots by being memorable, unique, and making the Mojave Desert infinitely more interesting. Let's get things started with number 5, a strip faction in one of the 3 families, the White Glove Society. The White Glove Society are hardly the most approachable and welcoming of the factions in New Vegas. In fact, they actively make a point of viewing themselves as superior to the common people of the wasteland. Behind the white masquerades and the bourgeois frivolities, this group has a dark secret, a secret which some members want to bury, while others want to unearth it, returning the society to its menacing roots. The White Glove Society stands out among the other establishments on the New Vegas Strip as it's just so beautiful upon first impression. Everything appears to be so sanitary and clean cut, with the staff and patrons showing themselves to be the very picture of courtesy. But diving deeper, something seems off. This oasis in the harsh Mojave Desert feels like more of a misleading mirage, as it is revealed that this faction is on the verge of returning to cannibalism. A series of intriguing events allow the courier to either save them from this fate or to help them along their path, and the quest it involves, called Beyond the Beef, has a massive amount of side choices and options you can explore. It's a great example of what makes Fallout New Vegas so sensational, and if you want to know more about this faction, we actually created a video all about it, which you can find uploaded recently on our channel. Do you like explosives? Because coming in at number 4, we have the Boomers. The Boomers are a real success story in the post-apocalyptic wastes. This faction was formed from Vault 34 descendants who left their vault and took their chances in the world. They stumbled across the Nellis Air Force Base, a pre-war US warfare center. Not only was the base well situated for protection from the perils of the Mojave, but it was packed full of munitions. Despite being a ragtag band of wanderers, the Boomers now pose such a threat to the other factions, including the well-organized major ones, that everyone just tends to leave them alone. With their enormous stockpile of heavy ordnance, artillery, small nuclear weapons, and long lines of sight out into the surrounding territory, the Boomers have formidable defenses as they fire explosives at anything that moves within their view. Thanks to their location, the Boomers also have a clean water supply in the form of Lake Mead, solar power, and thriving agriculture that they've developed over generations. The NCR tried to antagonize them once, cutting off their water supply. Now, the Boomers did what they do best. They simply bombed NCR's water pipelines to the east. The NCR soon backed off, licking their wounds. The Boomers have an obsession with aviation, and when they aren't within their hangar learning to fly in flight simulators, they're dreaming of recovering the B-29 bomber from the depths of Lake Mead. After helping the faction in the game, they make a very cool appearance in the final battle, showing off their power and how proud they are to achieve what they did with your help. And with that said, our third top faction in Fallout New Vegas is the New California Republic, known in short as the NCR. The NCR prides itself on being post-war America's bastion of democracy. Born from the remnants of Vault 15, the NCR claims to uphold a variety of old world values. They believe in the democratic process, personal liberty, and the rule of law. Their goal is to restore the United States to its former glory, and that involves reintroducing order, improving and redeveloping infrastructure, recreating a stable economy, and most importantly, bringing about peace for the survivors of the Great War. Unfortunately though, and unsurprisingly, this process has proven difficult for this well-intentioned major faction. Corruption riddles their government and their political systems. Despite such criticisms though, it would be wrong not to give them credit where it's due. Considering what they had to work with, the NCR has achieved great things. Starting from humble beginnings in Shady Sands, their influence has stretched as far as Nevada, Oregon, Mexico, and even as far as the Colorado River. They also have possession of relatively advanced technology on and off the battlefield, and the NCR ranges without a doubt at about 500 cool points to the faction. In New Vegas, they are a powerful player in the conflict for Hoover Dam. They currently control the landmark, and as a result have vastly improved access to electricity and water. The main thorn in their back is another more intimidating faction that we'll move on to very soon, but if the NCR are successful at Hoover Dam, they will have more success when it comes to uniting the Mojave under their banner. In second place, taking the silver, we have the Great Great Khans. The Great Khans, despite their comparatively tiny numbers and the lack of a solid foundation, have managed to do what most tribal societies in the New World have failed to do, and that's simply survive. As I'm sure you've gathered, the Great Khans are named after the Mongol clans which, under the leadership of Genghis Khan, grew from nothing to eventually dominate much of Asia and Central Europe. Like their namesake, the Great Khans became known for their ferocity in battle, but after some serious misfortune, being targeted and systematically demolished by the Vault Dweller and the Chosen One, as well as finding themselves in the midst of a brutal massacre, the Great Khans' biggest feat was the ability to recuperate and re-emerge as a faction. By the events of New Vegas, the Great Khans are a shadow of their former selves, but regardless of this, they provide useful as a force and deadly in battle. Originally, the followers of the Apocalypse took pity on the tribe, teaching them about medicine and technology, but the Broken Khans have used this knowledge to make chems, becoming the Mojave's biggest drug dealers. One ending for the Great Khans is particularly interesting. If you convince their leader, Papa Khan, to break his alliance with Caesar's Legion, he may evacuate his tribe from Hoover Dam before the end of the battle, heading north to the plains of Wyoming to reconnect with the followers of the Apocalypse who were so kind to the Khans in the past. If this fate befalls the Great Khans, they are able to rebuild their strength, bolstering their governance, economics, and transportation to become a mighty empire in the ruins of the Northwest. And finally, the top faction in Fallout New Vegas, Caesar's Legion. This faction can be seen in the distance across the Colorado River in their great encampments, and they are certainly a sight to behold. Inspired by the ancient Roman Empire, Caesar's Legion is a disciplined faction which has risen to prominence as a result of its military dominance, pristine organization, and strict totalitarian dictatorship. Caesar's Legion began when a group of missionaries associated with the followers of the Apocalypse set out east to study the tribal languages in Arizona. Members Edward Sallow and Joshua Graham were captured by a small, insignificant tribe known as the Blackfoots. In order to avoid being killed when the Blackfoots were inevitably defeated by their more powerful adversaries, Edward Sallow took it upon himself to guide the tribe in their approach to warfare. Sallow's guidance was so revolutionary that they soon revered him and made him their leader. Under Sallow's control, the tribe became unstoppable. He abandoned his name and took on Caesar, and used his tribe and title to divide and conquer others, eventually growing his force into the legion you see today. Caesar rules with an iron hand, and all who are defeated by his legion are absorbed into his forces or killed. Caesar's legion believes in the usage of slaves to further their goals, and that has allowed them to prosper greatly. By exploiting the weakness of the post-war factions, Caesar aims to unite the world under his leadership. The Legion are the chief antagonists to the NCR, and if the Battle of Hoover Dam goes their way, much of the Mojave's population will fall to enslavement as they take control of all major locations with brute force and intimidation tactics. Subscribe to FudgeMuppet and hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. Also, tell us if you want to see more New Vegas on the channel, and don't forget to follow us on social media. Links can be found below in the description section. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. It means so much. I'm Michael, and I look forward to nerding out with you again very soon.